Thank you for watching this special edition of Africa on the Move. It's been over a year since we took the initiative of creating a TV show that will connect and inspire an entire new generation of African entrepreneurs. It started one Tuesday when I was hosting La Guinée en Marche, a TV show which aired in Guinea television. A very enthusiastic young lady who's the president of Guinea Students Succeeding in America visited us. And I was told she can speak French. And we conducted an interview in English. The interview went viral on Facebook. We had over 1,000 views in a few hours. I understood the need of African businessmen and NGOs to connect with the communities, talk about the business, and sell the product. My name is Karim El-Tosh, and I have the privilege of hosting Africa on the Move, a TV show with one of the most innovative, creative, dynamic young African leaders and CEOs in New York City. October 2018, the very inspirational Assouma Diallo is my first guest, the president of Guineans Succeeding in America. What is her goal and challenge she faces as a woman leading this association for the first time? And in the same TV show, Abdul Diallo, former president of GICA and member of Malaria Awareness, is bringing the right advice at the right time to African people about malaria. Here, he is interviewing Chantal Coyle. How you feel about your presidency? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Most of the Guinean organizations that I know in the United States, most of them are led by men, unless that's something that I don't know of. But I'm so excited to be in this role, and I hope to lead this organization to a greater heights.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really excited because the Guinean Student Association, now known as the Guineans Succeeding in America, is an organization that is geared towards empowering the Guinean community by providing resources for educational development and professional development.
Okay.
So we identified a need in the community, and we were students, a couple of us, we came together and we founded an organization that would provide all these resources that we were lacking, so that we can compete in the global market.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you trying to achieve now? So what is your dream in this association?
Okay, so as you know, we had our conference, that's why we came here last time, and we have hundreds of people who attended the conference where we had different panels. So based on, like I told you, the organization is geared towards empowering the community through education and professional development. So our goals for this year is also based on that. So one thing that we very much presented during the conference was doing a Salon de l'Emploi, which is also known as a career fair, where we're going to invite companies from Guinea, and also we're going to try to have companies from here where we can hire our Guinean talents, because back home we have many roles that we who are here educated can fill, but the people hire foreigners, right? So now we want people to come back, like companies to come here and identify the Guinean talents in this community and hire them to go back home and work for the community.
Okay.
And a second thing is creating a database where we as young people or students or young professionals can be also matched with a mentor. Let's say, for example, like you right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of Africa on the Move. Our topic today is about malaria and the Community Advisory Board led by Dr. Coyle and Mr. Ambrose here in the Bronx. We will be talking to them today so they can enlighten us a little bit on some of the issues they've observed of the scene in the community regarding malaria. First, I'm going to go to Dr. Coyle and ask her to introduce herself shortly.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. My name is Dr. Christina Coyle, and I'm a professor of medicine at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, and I work at New York City Health and Hospitals Jacobi Hospital, where I take care of many people that go home and travel back to Africa and come back with malaria. And the idea here is to educate this community about the importance of taking prophylaxis. And so taking precautions so that they can prevent acquiring malaria when they go back home. And the idea of this grant is that we partner with the community to come up with strategies. And so we came up with the idea of developing a community advisory board. And that board would represent
February 2019, the former president and founder of GSA, Abdurrahman Diallo, is a member of a few organizations. He's one of the 147 students selected among more than 2,800 candidates around the globe to pursue a master's degree in global affairs at Tsinghua University in China. He's a genius. Here he tells us why this is so capital for him, as well as his movement he created to empower youth in Guinea. For him, youth has to be in the center of decision making through social justice and economic empowerment. In the same edition, we have Assembly Member Charles Farr, the son of parent immigrant from Guinea, inspired by Barack Obama. Charles Farr made his first step in politics serving as the Staten Island Borough Director of Mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, as well as Chief of Staff to the New York City. His program for universal pre-K, paid sick leave, and Islamic holidays and observances cleared the path for him to Albany. The third guest in the same TV show is one of the most creative, dynamic entrepreneurs from Cameroon, Junior Mekinda, or Mekinda Junior. You choose what you like. He's making history back home in Cameroon. His fight against drepanners awareness and road safety campaign are making positive change. This is Africa on the Move Edition 2. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you.
What's going on with GSA? I heard that you have been fired from GSA.
Yeah, I have been fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have passed the baton to the new generation to take it. Yeah, Asuma, she was here last time. She's the new president. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job. People talking about this.
Thanks.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
The job you did. You have a good news, right? You have a good news. You have been admitted in Schwarzman program.
Yes.
So
yes.
tell me about it. What is that?
A Schwarzman Scholar program is a fellowship program. It's an American fellowship program that will be taking place in Tsinghua University. But it's to teach you how China view the world, how China do business with Africa, how China do business with the United States, with Europe, how China is the second largest economic power in the world. So we want to learn.
To the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Today's a great day for Staten Island, for the North Shore of Staten Island. I'm proud to be here now as a new colleague of Charles Fall, Assemblyman Mike Cusick.
Well, first of all, we're proud of you. Congratulations. I remember when you and I were talking during the campaign, I told you to leave it all out there, have no regrets. You worked really hard. And I also want to congratulate this district. When you look at the district and the fact that it's shown to be open-minded, to go from someone like Matt Tatone to electing somebody like Charles Falls, is really indicative of where we headed as a city of New York. Charles, you got a big heart. You are compassionate. You're someone who's honest. You're someone who is God-fearing. And because of that, we know that you have all of the recipe, the entire recipe to be a fantastic legislator.
So now tell me a few things you did back home. Tell me about your service.
Okay, the first thing is the most impressive thing that I did was I founded an organization fighting against sickle cell anemia in Cameroon. You know, sickle cell anemia is one of the most deadliest disease in Africa, in the black community. And then it was something that just happened like that. I don't have no one suffering from that disease in my family. And then one day, I have a friend who came and said, oh, I have this organization. I mean, I want to do something with people suffering from sickle cell. Can you go to the hospital with me and help? And then when I went there, I saw people really suffering. I said, what can we do for them? And then someone said, there's not much we can do because it's not a curable disease, you know. And then I said, okay, at least can we prevent it? Can we do something to prevent the disease? And say, yes, if we have a good communication, send back to Cameroon. In terms of technology, because back home, the technology is not too much, ahead developed yet. So all the little things that we can get here and that we don't have back home, yes, people will be like,
February 2019. She is a Rwanda survivor. She lost her mom when she was a teenager. Today, her story inspires and heals often in Rwanda. Through social media and her book, Why Do I Survive?, her voice is heard beyond our frontier. Marie-Claudine, she's very allergic when we mess up her title. Dr. Marie-Claudine is my guest. In the same episode, my next guest, Saluso, a young real estate agent who inspires the real life and success of immigrants. First, he worked at a car wash for $4 an hour, worked in the Burger King, drove a yellow cab. He was lucky at this time, no Uber, no hassle, no customer lying that you smell alcohol because they want free ride. Today, Saluso is successful in the real estate business. He advises the community to buy a house here in the US. You're watching part 1 of Africa on the Move.
I know how hard it is to lose, your mom, your parent, when you are little. So how did this affect you?
Oh, when my mom, she was killed, I survived the genocide in Rwanda. When my mom, she was killed, we were in a refugee camp. My grandpa were killed before. My uncle, my auntie, my cousins, my daddy and my stepfather, they were all killed. So I was with my mom thinking that we are going to survive. So when she was killed, I lost all hope, I lost everything. I felt that there's no reason I should leave. So I use social media to talk to them, listen to them, counseling, because any trauma, they teach us that I graduated in international trauma studies here in New York City. They teach us that number one, people who are struggling, who are going through suffering, they need somebody they can trust, they can talk to, who can listen to them, because they may not talk to everyone.
Or they don't know the benefits, how that money can generate more if they invest it into the real estate. And also it can help them and help their children not to go through the same thing we are going through today, paying rents every day. So we want to make sure we leave something for our children. Buying houses can help them a lot so that they don't have to go struggling paying rent while they're in college. So that's many reasons why we are trying to convince our people to get within the real estate and buy houses.
One of the problems too,
In my over 20 years of journalism, I have never been so impressed by a so young journalist. She inspires the passion and love and hope that we can be successful doing this job, working with African people. Madina Toure is educational reporter at Politico New York. She covers New York City education system, politics, African diaspora issues. She is the co-founder of Black Muslim Series, which went viral. Next, Madam C, CEO of Finally Girls Matter. You're watching Africa on the Move Anniversary Part 1.
I am an education reporter at Politico New York. I started working there in June. So my beat is citywide education policy and politics. So I'm covering the city's public school system and higher education. So anything that relates to policy and politics as it pertains to education is a part of my beat. So, I'm covering the chancellor. I think there are big issues right now like segregation in the city's public school system, the mayor's plan to eliminate the single admission test at the city's specialized high schools, and then other specific issues like at CUNY, for example, you have food insecure students who are going hungry. You also have issues pertaining to students with disabilities, English language learners. So it's a pretty broad beat, but it's a very important issue. But to kind of give you a brief summary of who I am and what I do. Before that, I was at The Observer covering New York City politics, City Hall, and I was covering the mayor and kind of the governor and national news as it pertained to the city and sort of niche topics like NYCHA and MTA. But I also covered, I did cover immigration and African immigrants. And before that, I also covered the city's minority and woman-owned business enterprise program, police reform, a lot of police reform activists. I was at the Times.
So you are a true journalist people are looking for in this community. Can you tell us a few of your coverage of African people?
To talk a little bit about my involvement in the community, it actually started around 2014. A friend who, at this point is a sister, Fatima Diallo, who runs the Miss Guinea USA organization. I started working with the Miss Guinea USA pageant.
You just show the communities that you are the best women. You deserve an award. Believe me, this is amazing. How did you put all this together? Tell me a little bit. Give us your secret and tell us what is this for.
Okay, so our organization is here to help the children and the women. So every year we organize this to make the kids happy, and we go from the store to store and get some help, and sometimes I have to put my money and my family money so to buy some toys, always to make the kids happy. Yeah. So the reason we bring we have this event to the public school because we are partners. We bring our program to the public school, and the program is
April 2019. Ganyo Gandono was a black car driver who was killed in the Bronx. His devastating wife and the entire community and IDG Independent Drivers Guild are mourning the loss of a very exemplary father and hard worker. His death raised the question of driver safety and all others issues entitled to their right. In the same TV show, a young lady from Ivory Coast shares her passion and love of her career. Masani Fofana is a singer and pianist who dreamed of someone asking her to start a musical career. She jumped off the bed and the next day purchases a piano and started practicing. Masani is still struggling to make it happen professionally, but she's invited to perform in some African communities event and she's doing well.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Anytime I'm outside, I'm not safe. I'm not feeling safe. I'm not feeling comfortable anywhere no more. Because I know maybe the person is near me. I don't know. I don't know. I just want justice for me and my family, for everybody. I want the person to face justice. And I wanted to tell all travelers to be careful out there because there is a lot of crazy people. You don't need to do nothing. You don't need to even say something for them to kill you. the way I feel, I don't want nobody to feel like that because it's very terrible. I miss my husband so much, and I know my son does it too.
Every day I like to dance.
And I like the clip. You told me yesterday that you made that clip.
I made it.
And you videotape it.
Yes.
And then you edited it.
Yes.
So how do you film yourself dancing? Tell me how you do it.
Like you see my camera right there? This one I take with me and I just look for the special place that I want it. Or special image that I want, just put it.
So you work by yourself?
I work by myself.
Why? Because you want to make all this money by yourself?
No,
for yourself,
not
right?
because of myself, because the people, those I want to be with me, I don't know, they don't believe me, or right now don't make money, they don't want to waste their time for me.
April 2019, Christelle Onwu from Cameroon, another Cameroon, is a lead advisory for African community in human rights. She is the voice for the voiceless. She works tirelessly to empower her community, knocking at doors, going to African gatherings. It took years to convince African people, as we all know, but she made it happen. From African rights to driver's rights. This is another huge organization who fight for drivers. Over a decade, IDG, Independence Driver Guild, has organized a lot of rallies to force Uber and Lyft to better drivers' conditions. This is Africa on the Move, May 2019.
Went to your website, on your Facebook profile, and I read so much about you, and I said, I wish I knew you years ago, because you are so inspiring. So thank you again for coming here.
Thank you very much, Karim, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Christelle Onwu. I am the African Communities Lead Advisor at the New York City Commission on Human Rights. I am also the Equal Employment Recruitment Strategist at the Commission. Essentially what I do at the Commission is basically advocate for African communities throughout the 5 boroughs. But most of my work has to do with galvanizing the African community, educating them about their rights, just so that they can be informed and know what to do in case if either face discrimination at work or discrimination in housing. It's also very important, for us to understand that the African community is definitely growing in the city of New York, and so having an office such as the Commission on Human Rights, that is fully dedicated to reaching out to that specific community is very important. And so being able to do this work at least has been very inspiring and powerful for me, and so I can use my platform to elevate the voices of the community.
Wow.
Wow.
The activation is drivers get deactivated on the base of customer complaints a lot. And the customers actually tell stories a lot, all to save a fare. And that one story that they could have saved to save $30 or $40 has caused a driver to lose his livelihood. And
even $10 sometimes.
Yeah. 5 too, right? So the thing is, when drivers come in, we go through their phone to see what the messages are. And then we figure out what is, because Uber does not tell them why they're actually deactivated.
Good. And one reason why you have to go through IDG is the fact that you need a strong union behind you. Anytime you fight something, make sure you have a group, a platform, a bigger voice that can back up your claims. So coming through us just makes sense, and that's the right thing.
When two countries decide to celebrate their independence together, it's a strong message they are sending to the world that African diaspora are united. Liberia and Sierra Leone are my guests. Guest one, Digi Zulu. He's an albino from Guinea and the president of the Association of African Digi in the US. The idea to creating this association is to bring all the diggers together to be more organized when it comes to digging an event. For example, Digi Zulu doesn't need to go to Washington, D.C. at the White House to DJ. He will just give a phone call to one of the DJ members who lives in Washington. And I, Karim, will be a DJ just because I will be at the White House to make Donald Trump dance African music. And his work to organize the community, the group, pays off. How Sekou fights against the albino stereotypes. How he supports the albinos back home. You are watching Africa on the Move first anniversary. After this celebration, is this an occasion for you guys to work together? She mentioned before Ebola stuff, right?
Of course.
Is there another way for you
to work?
Okay.
Of course.
Right.
That's the connection now. Because we're going to share our culture.
Okay.
This is a platform we're building, not for the next generation coming.
Yeah.
So it's I don't want to say some stuff over here because I'm on the ear now. Sometimes we just want to.
And we've all been inspiring each other to do projects, whether it's my pageant, their pageant, advocacy, our advocacy. Togo, if I give you a little bit background, just in something recent, when we had the Ebola crisis, these two countries, Togo was the first people to do relief for Sierra Leone, actually in the state of New York, Togo, silently.
Oh, but that question is very nice. Very good question. Well, everybody have the preference for the DJ. Some people can like me, some people can like another DJ. That means they call different DJ. If you got advanced, whatever DJ is good to you, you call that DJ. They're gonna come to your advance. Like example, I'm in the New York DJ. I'm from New York. If somebody wanna do their advance in the New York, you gotta call me. I'm gonna ask my other DJ if they're not busy to come join to me to do the party. Oh yeah, if anybody have chance to come to America, if you're albinos, I tell you to come because you got a lot of safety. You got a lot of human rights. You got a lot of people who are gonna help you. You can get a lot of things. The medical problem, the skin cancer problem. You can fix all that one. But if you're in Africa, you gotta stay in the sun. The sun gonna take your skin damage. You don't know. Because you don't have any support people.
And thank you for watching this part 1 of Africa on the Move. See you next week. Thank you.